Imagine how much money you lose every single time a customer walks away because their favorite experience in your business is not available. You know, imagine you're a salon owner and your customers walk away every single time their favorite hairstylist, that's their favorite experience in your business, is not available. Let's say that stylist is not around and has 20 customers. Every time that stylist is not available, 20 customers walk away. Imagine how much you're losing. Because customers are not supposed to be experiencing one person. They're supposed to be experiencing your business, your company. Now, this is because you're not doing something as simple as, or you don't have something as simple as an SOP. Yes. And this is what we're going to be discussing today. So that we can solve that issue of you having to lose money because your customers are not getting the same experience every single time they walk in. Now, if you want to solve this, keep watching this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Strategy Sunday. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about SOPs. Yes, this is something that drives your business. That's like the brain behind how your business functions. Before I go in, I want to tell you guys a short story, to explain my point, why you need an SOP, before I even tell you the main other reasons why you need an SOP. So let's say, a while ago, someone was complaining to me about his mini mart, how he has 2 sales reps, and every time one person is around, let's call them Mrs. A and Mrs. B, right? So when Mrs. A is around, sales is always high, and when Mrs. B is around, sales is always low. And I was wondering why so. He's like, he doesn't know, their personalities are different, and he's like thinking of sacking Mrs. B because I think her personality does not bring in customers. Like, okay, why do you have to sack Mrs. B because of her personality and not that she's not doing her job right? It's like, he doesn't know. So like, why have you asked yourself, why does Mrs. A have more sales than Mrs. B? Are they not doing the same job? Are they not, going through the same process to do their job? They are the cash point, take money, direct customers on how to. It's a mini mart. So you guys know what a mini mart looks like in Nigeria. So it's like, do all of that. It's like, yeah, they do the same thing. So why so? And he didn't understand why. Like, okay, so let's say that, customers experience Mrs. A. And whenever Mrs. A is around, more customers come in because they like Mrs. A's experience. And when Mrs. B is around, they don't like Mrs. B's experience, so they don't come in when Mrs. B is around. So they wait for when Mrs. A is around. And that's sad, because why is your customer experiencing an individual and not the entire company? Why are customers leaning towards one person in your company and not the company itself? People should walk into your business because it's your business, because of this business, not because of one individual. What happens when this one individual, leaves the company? You lose money, right? So you're losing money because customers are experiencing 2 different people. Did I tell you why? Because he doesn't have his process written down. He doesn't have anything written down. He doesn't have how they're supposed to attend to customers written down, so that both of them do the same thing to get the same result. If you want one result, it has to be something written down. This is how I want this result to be gotten. That is why you need an SOP, so that you don't lose money because your customers are experiencing two different personalities instead of experiencing your company. They should be experiencing your company, not the personalities in your company. So, yeah. So now, what is SOP? SOP means standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedure. Now, it is a collection of your processes, your policies, your system, and your procedures. I'm going to break this down one at a time. So, processes. Processes are like your step by step. So, for instance, let me take customer service, for example. Let's say you want to take an order. What's the process? The customer calls, pick up the call, write down the order. Next thing, take the order to people that are supposed to fulfill it, and this and that. That's like the step-by-step process. How you are going to fulfill, take down that order, right? Then the systems. System is everything together. It's a collection of the process, technology, people, and interface. Now, process, which I just explained, technology. How are you going to fulfill that order, or how are you going to fulfill that process? Let's say you're going to use a particular system. Maybe for your invoice, you use Quick Note or Wave or something. That's the technology you're going to use, right? Now, for people, which department, who is in charge of what? This customer service, who is in charge of this, who is in charge of that? That's people. Now, how do these people interface? Like, when the process, how do they meet? Let's say from sales department or from marketing to sales, how do they come together? That's how the people interfacing, right? Now, the next one is procedures. Procedures. Procedures is the details. How are things going to be done? What is going, like the hows. Okay, now let's say one process. The first step is take the call. How do they answer the call? Is it at the first ring, at the second ring, or at the third ring? Now, when they take the call, what are they supposed to say? Or maybe you're sending an email. What is going to be in that email? Those are procedures. How do they send the email? You can put templates, you can do this. Those are procedures. How things are going to be done in each step. Each process has a procedure. So that is what procedures cover. Now we have policies. What is allowed and what is not allowed, the do's and don'ts. When you answer the call, you should not talk to a customer like this. When you write an invoice, this must be included. When this happens, this must not be done. Policies. It is a must. So for every SOP, for every department, it must cover the systems, the procedures, the processes, and the policies. So your SOPs must cover these four things. It is the engine, it is the brain behind your business. Without it, customers are going to be experiencing different things and leaning towards one person, and you lose money. In coming Sundays, I would, break down all of this. I'll talk more about processes, how you can write your processes, policies, and procedures, and systems. So how you can do all of that. So in coming Sundays, we'll keep taking them one at a time. So now, let's get into why SOPs matter. One, consistency. Customers should not be experiencing two different things. I think that explains consistency enough. Customers should experience the same thing consistently. Things should be done in your company the same way consistently. If you want a particular result, if you want something to happen in a particular way, it should be done the same way. Things are supposed to be repetitive in your company for you to achieve the same result every single time. So for that to happen, you need SOPs. You need SOPs. Now, number 2, accountability. When you have things written down, you can now ask that sales rep, you're not following what is, what you were trained, how you were trained, what you were trained to do, the process. That is why you're not getting this result. You now know who to hold accountable, because for me, the sales rep is not at fault. It is you, the business owner. You tell her how you want this result to be achieved, the steps that she should take for this result to be achieved, so that customers will experience the same thing in your company. No. So the sales rep is not supposed to be held accountable at this point. But if you had given her the steps, if you had told her, this is how things are done here, this is the experience I want my customers to have, this is what you should and shouldn't do, and she fails to do them, then you can now hold her to her ear. Yes, you're not doing this. That is why you're not getting this result. But if that is not there, you can hold her. Can you sack her? You can, but when you bring the next person, what's the guarantee that the same thing won't happen again? You keep sacking, reemploying, but you are not looking within you, the CEO, to do your job. Number 3, efficiency. When you have systems in place, technology makes life easy. It makes things more efficient. When you have systems in place, you have a process, you have how to do things, your staff become more efficient. There's less errors, less duplication of things. Things flow better when there is an SOP. Number 4, scalability. Instead of wasting your time training staff over and over and over again, starting from scratch every single time you employ a new person, SOPs help you erase that. You don't have to train people over and over again from scratch every single time. And you have time to scale because people are able to understand, they are able to follow the process. There is now a bigger opportunity and a bigger advantage for you to scale. Number 5, legacy. I talk about legacy every single time. Why are you building a business if it's not going to outlive you? Systems help you do that. Procedures, written down things help you do that, so that things can move from one person to the other, from one person to the other. Because they are written down. There is a process. There is everything written down. You can sit back and hand somebody your SOP. This is how to run my company, and the person would run it. Follow your process. Follow everything to the letter. This is how to run my company. That is not to say that your SOP shouldn't be upgraded or reviewed over time. It should be reviewed. At least every 3 months, 4 months, it should be reviewed. Quarterly, yearly, it should be reviewed. Because things change, technology change. So you need to review your SOPs quarterly, yearly, so that you can upgrade. And there are some things that you might write down, but when they are done realistically, they might not work. So these are the reasons why you can, you need to review your SOPs every quarterly, yearly, monthly, or whatever time that you put for it. So now, how do you write your first SOP? Again, your first, pick a task, pick one common thing that you do in your business, write the procedures down, your process down, write your process down, then What system are you going to use? And then what policy? What is the do's and don'ts? Then outline the procedure. How is it going to be done? For every process, how is this process going to be carried out? How is this thing going to be carried out? Very important. Look at your SOP like a recipe book. The ingredients are the process. The kitchen is a system. The policies are like maybe your diet, what you should, how you should eat it, or what you shouldn't eat, or what you shouldn't add to it. And the procedure are the steps that you take. How much of each of these ingredients should you add to your soup to make it yummy? So altogether, SOP is that recipe. It's everything together. It's the brain. It is what makes the soup sweet. Without the recipe book, every chef will be making something different every single time. Imagine you walk into your favorite restaurant and every time you go to eat their jollof rice, it tastes different. It is because they don't have a recipe book. So bestie, don't wait till your business is big to start writing your SOPs, because SOPs are not just paperwork. They are what would make your business scalable, trustworthy, and less chaotic. Today, pick up your pen and paper and pick one task in your business. Write the process, the system, the policy, and the procedure. From there, you can start mapping out other SOPs for the different departments in your company. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can keep building intentionally and with clarity. Until next time, bye.